Now at 9, police say Miami's new flock cameras aim to boost safety without impinging on personal privacy. Plus, some Pittsburgh residents expressed their views on actions of the Trump administration. And
new threats from the Colombian president after the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. I'm Steve Harrigan in Cucuta, Colombia. That story ahead.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Anderson, Missouri police released details of an alleged accidental discharge of a gun that killed a 28-year-old woman Saturday night. This is KOAM News. I'm Dow Quick. Officers responded to 305 West Main Street and found Annie Strickling Gaines unconscious with a gunshot wound. Paramedics rushed her to Freeman West Hospital where she died. Police also found a man at the home identified as Gavin Crawford. The investigation continues. Strickling Gaines was a Joplin High School and Missouri Southern graduate. She was an elementary teacher for the Neosho School District. The Miami Police Department is
when Stephen Sigmund took over as chief,
moving forward with plans to install 10 license plate reading cameras at certain intersections. KOAM's Kenny Foreman spoke with the chief of police to find out more about what citizens should expect.
When Stephen Sigmund took over as chief in May of 2024, he envisioned flock cameras increasing efficiency within the department and the city.
It's a lot cheaper to put technology in place than it is to try and hire a law enforcement officer. So we're just trying to use it as a force multiplier to reduce the crime rate here in the city of Miami, improve the quality of living here in the city of Miami, which will then encourage businesses and things like that to come here to support the city.
Unlike a typical red light camera, the flock cameras may only be accessed by the police if they receive specific information related to a vehicle that could help them investigate a potential crime.
These are not speed enforcement cameras. There's no citations associated with these, which was a big misconception that we had going on. They don't track you going to your house, which was another misconception. It simply snaps a picture of who goes through an intersection.
Sigmund says it's a tool designed to help the police, not for anybody to use it to spy on one another.
Anybody that logs into it and conducts a search, they have to articulate why they're conducting the search, be specific about what they're searching for, and then if there's any misuse, we can address that through the audit system and through our policies. And I can assure the citizens here in Miami that if there is any misuse, it will be addressed quickly.
He maintains that the cameras do not capture the car's riders, and the information does not remain permanent.
I understand that there's concern about the retention of the data and all of that. I want it very clear that we can only search the database if we have a legitimate criminal justice reason. And the data is only stored for 30 days and then it is expunged from the system. So it's not an ongoing forever database. It's only for 30 days and then it is removed from the system.
In Miami, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
The department hopes to have the cameras installed by late spring or early summer. Flock cameras are currently used in more than 6,000 communities nationwide. Let's check in with meteorologist Austin Stantz now for our first look at the weather.
Thanks, Dow. Yeah, it started out as a mild evening, but temperatures going to be falling tonight rather quickly. Overnight will be in the low 40s. Our overnight low going to hit the upper 30s tonight, so it'll be a little bit of a chillier start than we've seen for the last few days, but things are going to ramp back up in the afternoon with temperatures back into the upper 60s out there. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly heading into Thursday. We have some Thursday storms that we have to deal with. The good news is the rain is going to help those drought conditions across the 4 states. The bad news is going to come during those commute hours, and the ugly news, unfortunately, a few storms could be strong to severe. So let's talk about that for a moment. The Storm Prediction Center has the 4 states region, or most of it, at a 1 out of 5 or marginal risk of severe weather. Main threat's going to be wind and hail with the timing about 4 a.m. to noon. Coming up, we're going to take a deeper dive into the timing and impact those storms could have.
Catch you soon. Sparklight donates $5,000 to Children's Haven in Joplin. Children's Haven serves as a safe place where young people up to the age of 17 can stay the night whenever there's a crisis at home. The grant will go to fund meals and snacks for the children staying there.
The support will go for crisis care for kids to be able to stay the night and for us to be able to meet their immediate needs when they're here. And that may be meals. We provide a lot of meals and snacks. We also transport our kids to their home schools, which may be all over the area.
Sparklight offers grants to a number of states that gave out more than $100,000 in grants. Coming up, a U.S. push for Greenland sparks heated threats and global backlash.
The White House is hinting a military operation might be on the table to take over Greenland. I'm Greg Belka in London. That's my story coming up.
But up first, blue and green envelopes help law enforcement safely identify autism and mental illness on traffic stops.
Eagles Bulldogs live at 6:45 Wednesday on K.
Brand mattresses starting at only $37 a month, only at Ashley.
When we're stopped by police, the encounter can be nerve-wracking, but in many cases, it's just a normal traffic stop. However, for someone with autism or mental illness, that normal stop can turn sideways quickly. Now, as Alejandra Hernandez reports, there's a new program just launched in Arkansas that aims to reduce those incidents.
I just think the more education everybody involved has, the better off it'll be. But I think it's just a safety issue for all parties involved.
Danny Graham has a son with autism, and he hopes the newest program from the state of Arkansas keeps his son safe during a traffic stop. At the beginning of the year, the blue and green envelope program went into effect in Arkansas, hoping to make traffic stops safer for people with autism and mental illness. Graham said a traffic stop can be anything but normal for someone who experiences autism.
There's been autistic people tased because they're acting quirky and no fault of the policeman, thinking that, hey, this person may be on drugs or whatever. He's not complying. He's acting irrational.
The blue envelope is designed for people with autism, and the green one is designed for people with mental illness, serving as a visual sign to an officer that the driver may have communication challenges. Representative Aaron Pilkington sponsored the blue envelope bill.
Right, we had individuals from all across the state kind of come and testify and talk about some of the experiences they had and how they thought this simple change would help them with their traffic stops with law enforcement.
And the envelopes themselves are easily accessible. Anybody can come to the state revenue office and pick up either a green envelope or a blue envelope.
When they hand the envelope to the officer, they go, okay, I'm dealing with someone who has autism. I need to be aware that I'm dealing with someone who may have some issues that is not like a typical traffic stop. Because you have to think about, too, for police officers, these are high stressful situations for them as well.
The envelope provides documentation to law enforcement and guidance to officers on how to interact with the person. Graham said the initiative is something he likes and hopes his son is able to use it when he starts driving.
I want him to be able to do it safely and just let him know what his responsibilities are.
Pilkington says there's no registry with the envelopes and no document is required to get an envelope. Another child flu death has been reported in Massachusetts as cases of the virus surge. A Monday public health report announced 3 statewide pediatric flu deaths, and that number has since increased to 4. Flu cases are rising quickly around the U.S., with many states reporting increasing numbers of infections and deaths, including among children. Doctors say the flu vaccine may not completely prevent the flu, but can reduce symptoms and keep patients out of the hospital. Health experts encourage everyone to get vaccinated now, as the flu season often lasts into the spring. Health experts are looking into ways to encourage people to get their flu shot. A study published in JAMA found that doctors sending patients reminder texts before a visit led to more people getting their flu vaccine. The CDC says even during an average flu season, the virus can cause hundreds of thousands of hospitalizations and tens of thousands of deaths, and flu vaccines can help reduce the severity of the illness. Austin's next with a complete look at the forecast, and later a historic Pittsburgh school reopens as a child care center, offering tours and new programs.
Pool Party of the Year, February 14th.
Medina, The Masked Singer is back Wednesday on Fox.
So quiet conditions, like you just heard, are going to continue as we head into Wednesday, but that's going to change heading into Thursday. A more active pattern is on the way. Taking a look at our upper level flow, here comes our system off to the west here. So first we have a surface low that passes through, bringing strong to possibly severe storms into Thursday morning. And then an upper level low that's going to circulate around, wrap around some of that moisture and bring the opportunity for maybe a few flurries as we head into the weekend. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Winds out of the northwest. Temperatures going to fall relatively quick tonight into the upper 30s. Temperatures right around 37 degrees this evening. Winds will be calm for now, but picking up as we head into tomorrow. Now, taking a look at tomorrow, 68 degrees, upper 60s. Most of the day going to be quiet, but late night thunderstorms are starting to increase there. Those chances, we'll notice the Storm Prediction Center has us just as a general thunderstorm risk heading into Wednesday, but heading into Thursday, they bump us up into that marginal risk, or that 1 out of 5. And the main threats here are going to be wind and hail. The timing on that between 4 a.m. and noon, but the prime hours are going to be during the commute hours between 6 and 10 a.m. Let's take a look. Here we are Thursday, 4 a.m., just starting to see some scattered showers begin to make their way in. We are going to see that become more organized as we head into the later morning hours. So by 6 a.m., you notice that line starting to develop. That's going to make its way in, and this line could have some gusty winds along with it. We're going to see some high wind shear along with that, which is going to help promote some of those wind gusts. But notice temperatures still fairly mild in the upper 50s there. Then you have that line off to the west. So multiple rounds throughout the morning and the afternoon. Things begin to clear out as we head into the later afternoon hours around 1, 2 o'clock. That's when things quiet down. But just make sure heading out the door Thursday morning, you're prepared to run into some of these showers and thunderstorms. Give yourself some extra time. Check your phone for any weather alerts that you might have on the way out the door Thursday morning. Let's talk about those winds. So winds are going to be calm for tonight. Heading into Thursday, though, those are going to begin to increase. Wednesday afternoon will be around 20 to 25. Into Thursday, could gust 40, 45, 50. So a thunderstorm, a heavy thunderstorm, could easily knock those wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, warranting a severe thunderstorm warning on Thursday. Not expecting a severe weather breakout, but just a severe thunderstorm warning. 1 or 2 of them can't be completely ruled out. Heading into the weekend, we see the cold front passes, temperatures are falling, wintry mix possible heading into Friday, overnight Friday into Saturday morning. Taking a look at Sunday, 48, things clear out. Back into the 50s on Monday. Short wave comes through on Tuesday. That'll bring another front through. Late next week is much cooler.
Okay, and we certainly could use the rain. We'll see what we get.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Austin. A historic Pittsburgh school that sat empty for nearly 3 decades is open with new life and now giving tours for childcare. The Washington School now houses Grow at Eden's. It has 3 classrooms and a sensory room serving toddlers, preschoolers, and infants. During the day, they help teach kids through interactive courses, workshops, and community engagement. For educators, the goal is to provide an educational and nurturing experience.
It's important to me to service the whole child, both in and outside, and in order for them to have a good learning experience, they have to be well developed and fed on the inside.
Grow at Eden in Pittsburgh already has nearly 20 students enrolled, but they have spots for 127 kids. It has other locations in Parsons and Iola. Coming up next, President Trump rallies Republicans amid Venezuelan tensions and rising midterm stakes.
It's the start of another election year with control of Congress up for grabs this November. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with how both parties are already strategizing.
February 7th. Tickets at neoshowarts.net.
Progressive Democrats in California are proposing what they're calling a tax on the assets of billionaires in the state. Governor Gavin Newsom, himself a Democrat, is among many who are not supporting that idea. Fox Business correspondent Max Gordon has details from Los Angeles.
As California faces a healthcare funding crisis, some progressives see a one-time 5% tax of California's billionaires as a possible solution. According to state estimates, the proposed emergency tax would raise tens of billions of dollars, 90% of which would go to healthcare. United Healthcare Workers West, the union backing the proposal, says the money is needed to make up for healthcare funding cuts made in the Big Beautiful Bill. Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders wants to take it even further.
While tens of millions struggle to put food on the table, pay for health care, pay for housing. The top 1% have never, ever had it so good.
The Vermont senator saying in a statement, "This is a model that should be emulated throughout the country, which is why I will soon be introducing a national wealth tax on billionaires." But California Governor Gavin Newsom, seen by many as a possible 2028 presidential contender, remains against it. His office writing, "The governor has consistently opposed state-level wealth taxes, recognizing that if implemented at a state-only level, they drive a race to the bottom." Critics also warned this temporary tax windfall for California would likely be coupled with a decrease in state income tax revenue due to billionaires fleeing the state. Bay Area-based investor Chamath Palihapitiya writing on X that people he knew with a collective net worth of $500 billion left the state for good before January 1st to avoid exposure to the potential tax. Peter Thiel's Thiel Capital, which has an office in Los Angeles, announcing a new Miami location on December 31st. Those behind the California Billionaire Tax Initiative must gather nearly 875,000 signatures by June 24th to qualify for November's ballot. The tax would then need to be approved by California voters. Max Gordon, Fox Business.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting is closing its doors. Yesterday, the CPB's Board of Directors announced it voted in favor of dissolving the organization following Congress's decision to end its federal financial backing. CPB officials considered placing itself in hibernation just in case Congress decided to restore its appropriations. However, that move was rejected, according to the CPB's president and CEO, who said that doing so could create, quote, political manipulation or misuse. CPB made its debut in 1968 and funded PBS, NPR, and hundreds of radio and TV stations across the nation for decades. Today, the Consumer Electronics Show officially begins in Las Vegas, but some companies have already unveiled their new innovations. Lego gave a peek at its new Smart Play interface with smart bricks, tags, and figures meant for interactive play. Hyundai-owned Boston Dynamics and LG showed off their latest humanoid robots. NVIDIA also brought out its new tiny robots as its CEO played up the company's next-generation chips and announced that its AI technology is taking on autonomous driving systems. Coming up next, gunfire and drone attacks stir chaos in Venezuela amid political turmoil.
The secret is out, with millions of younger-looking customers.
Sachs and Associates, committed to community service.
The Venezuelan government is trying to show its people and the world that the country is not controlled by the U.S., but an oil embargo and escalating pressure by the White House is making that mission difficult. Fox News correspondent Steve Harrigan has more.
Here at this border crossing, you can see Colombia's security presence increasing. More soldiers, more guards. They're ready for trouble if things go south in Venezuela, and hundreds of thousands of refugees head this way. Across the border, gunfire was heard in Venezuela's capital overnight near the presidential palace. Police say they were shooting at unauthorized drones, but there are serious questions emerging about who is running the country. Maduro's vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, was sworn in as interim president. She's in a tough spot, caught between hardline military leaders at home and the White House demanding cooperation.
We have the most powerful, most lethal, most sophisticated, and most fearsome. It's a fearsome military on planet Earth.
It's also unclear if Maduro's arrest will be the start of a regime change. President Trump says opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who just won the Nobel Peace Prize, will not be Venezuela's next leader. But she says she's heading back there as soon as she can.
At this moment, I'm more useful to our cause, being able to speak out from where I am right now. But I'm planning to go as soon as possible back home.
Meanwhile, here in Colombia, the war of words with the U.S. is escalating, with President Gustavo Petro threatening to personally take up arms if President Trump tries any new military moves.
I think any adversary of the United States should be concerned about what they saw the United States do.
All this happens as the U.S. oil embargo puts the squeeze on Venezuela's economy. In Cucuta, Colombia, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Still ahead, NATO warns the U.S. against military moves on Greenland. And the GOP readies for midterms with a rallying message from President Trump.
Big Bang way off. Who is it?
The Masked Singer premieres Wednesday, January 7th on Fox.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
Dozens of Pittsburgh residents gathered this evening to protest the Trump administration. Demonstrators gathered at 4th Street and Broadway to demand redacted Epstein documents and accountability for powerful people. Protesters also stated their opposition to the military intervention in Venezuela, saying military action won't help families struggling with basic needs. Many residents shared their views on the Trump administration's handling of the removal of the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro.
Obviously, most of us are, not at all pro-Maduro and agree with him, no longer being in power. We also don't think that it's America's place to be doing that.
This is not what you do. And to me, it's fascism. This is not what America does. This is what Russia does.
The organizers say that protest was nonpartisan and focused on truth, fairness, and justice over politics. The Trump administration is escalating its war of words over Greenland, with a senior policy advisor saying the U.S. will eventually take over that territory. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott has more now from London.
We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security.
President Trump is intensifying his push for the U.S. to acquire Greenland one way or another. After the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, Trump once again floated the idea of taking over the Danish territory. And after he refused to rule out military force, Denmark's prime minister claimed any strike on Greenland would mean the end of the NATO alliance.
If the United States chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops, including NATO.
But the tough talk continued. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller hinted the U.S. will move to take over the territory sooner rather than later, claiming it's part of a long-term strategy to help NATO allies.
To protect and defend NATO and NATO interests, obviously Greenland should be part of the United States.
Democrats on Capitol Hill pushed back on those comments and vowed to stop funding any military operation aimed at acquiring Greenland.
What kind of adventurism is this? The language Miller used comes right out of the 1930s.
I think that would contribute to regional instability.
And America's NATO allies are standing behind Denmark, saying the U.S. has no right to invade Danish territory, while also acknowledging America's role in European security.
We must do everything we can to maintain European-American ties. This difficult task will require goodwill on all sides.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune told Fox News today he doesn't think U.S. military action is an option in Greenland. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
The calendar now says 2026, and that means midterm elections are just around the corner. But with the sudden death of California Congressman Doug LaMalfa, the razor-thin House Republican majority has gotten even slimmer. President Trump personally met with lawmakers today to strategize, while Democrats are preparing their own talking points. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more.
We're going to make history and break records with the epic midterm victory that we're going to pull off.
At the newly named Trump Kennedy Center in Washington, the president is helping Republicans shape up their messaging before the midterms in November.
It's been really amazing what you've done, and we're going to give you some ammunition today.
This meeting was planned before Venezuela erupted, but Trump's takedown of Nicolas Maduro adds a midterm wild card. Most Venezuelans are praising Trump's move, but they don't vote in U.S. elections.
It just makes no sense, other than Donald Trump wants to go down and run another country because he's doing such a bad job here in the United States.
We are not at war. We do not have U.S. armed forces in Venezuela, and we are not occupying that country.
Democrats have also made clear affordability will be their key message in November, putting pressure on Republicans and the administration to address the high costs of health care, housing, and groceries in time.
While Donald Trump and Republicans are spending all their time on foreign wars, on ballrooms, on private jets, Democrats are the ones focused on helping people pay the bills.
I think this campaign is pretty basic. Go tell the voters what we've done, what we're going to do, and remind them how crazy the left is. And I think if we do that, we'll be fine.
To flip the majority, Democrats need to pick up at least 3 seats in the House and 4 in the Senate in November. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Austin's up next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, humor in the workplace can boost team unity if it's used the right way.
Do you yearn for connection? Are you in need of encouragement?
Downtown Joplin sits atop the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, home of Connect-A-Culture and Spivak Center for the Arts.
Well, we haven't had much active weather to talk about recently in the past really 5-6 weeks, and we are starting to see an active pattern coming here into January. Now, things are still quiet on the Skywatch Storm Tracker for right now. That will change heading into Thursday. For right now, though, we're seeing our winds out of the northwest. Temperatures now falling into the 30s and 40s. 36 degrees in Pittsburgh, still around 50 degrees in Neosho, 45 in Anderson, 41 in Grove. Temperatures going to continue falling tonight to around 37 degrees. We're going to see winds calm for tonight, picking up tomorrow afternoon. A gust around 20, 25, can't be completely ruled out. You'll see that we're expecting some evening thunderstorms, but late night storms, actually overnight into our Thursday. Storm Prediction Center has a general thunderstorm risk across the 4 states region heading into Wednesday. That changes heading into Thursday. They bump us up into that 1 out of 5 or marginal risk for severe weather. Taking a look at our risks here, we're going to expect that timing between 4 a.m. and midnight, with our main threats being wind and hail. We're not going to try to hype this event up. The main issue is that it's going to happen during the commute hour. Take a look at this. 4 a.m. we see some isolated storms beginning to move in. We're going to see some more organized storms move in as that system gets closer, and it's going to start to be more of a line of thunderstorms that we're dealing with. And with high wind shear, that helps promote a high wind event. So we're going to be looking at wind gusts potentially upwards of 60 miles per hour. So if you're on the roadways as these are moving through between 8, 9, 10 a.m. in the morning, you're going to be running into a bumpy ride for your commute hour. So just plan to give yourself some extra time. If you can wait until these storms pass, until you have to go to work, that would be great. But if you have to drive, obviously drive carefully. Some of these could also have pockets of heavy rainfall, reducing visibility out there as well. Do notice that temperatures are still fairly mild as these storms are moving in, and expecting multiple rounds of these thunderstorms as they move through the area. Almost everyone is going to see some sort of rainfall heading into Thursday. Maybe even some small hail associated with these storms. 1 or 2 of them could just break that threshold to get a severe thunderstorm warning on it, but we're not expecting a widespread severe outbreak, but we are expecting widespread heavy rainfall at times. This begins to move out of the area heading into the 1, 2 o'clock hour into your Thursday. Beyond Thursday, we have the back edge of that system that could bring a wintry mix Friday night into Saturday. Cold front passes, temperatures down into the lower 40s Saturday. Heading into Sunday, we rebound into the upper 40s. Things begin clearing out for us. Then into next week, we're back into the 50s, but a short wave moves in. Another cold front takes our temperatures down to some chilly conditions overnight. You see the teens there late next week.
More typical, I suppose, for January.
Absolutely.
Austin, thanks. Still ahead, our local MIAA basketball teams duke it out on the court tonight. A recap and analysis of the Pitt State versus Missouri Southern basketball games. Ben McLeish has that and more up next in sports.
Looking for your next job? Visit KYMNewsNow.com/jobs for the latest opportunities.
Make sure you remain.
For the first time this season, the Pitt State and Missouri Southern basketball teams face off. First up, the Lady Lions hosting the Gorillas, and Missouri Southern has nationally ranked PSU on the ropes in the third quarter. Grace Frazier taking it up court, finds Ashlyn Alloway under the basket. She puts it up for the bucket. Lions back on the attack. Haiti Pyle has it at the top of the key. She drives to the basket, spins, and puts up the fadeaway jumper as MSSU adds to its lead. But the Gorillas wouldn't give up. Harper Schreiner finds Maren Adams down low. She works the defender and puts it up for 2. PSU clawing its way back into it. Jemiah Brown gets a look from 3. It's good. And the Gorillas inch closer, but the Lions fight right back, finding Lily Thomas in the paint. She backs down the defender and puts it in. The Gorillas' offense is alive now, though. Schreiner keys it to Casey McCumber, who scores the transition layup to make it a one-score game. But every time the Gorillas made it close, the Lions had an answer. Frazier taking it herself, driving to the basket. She makes it through the contact. The Lady Lions come to play, upsetting the nationally ranked Gorillas 82-73 for their biggest win of the season.
Thought our defense was pretty good. At times we were really good at taking things away that they wanted to do. Of course, they're a good team, so they was able to get some stuff, but it's a huge win. Big boost as far as especially coming off our Fort Smith game where we didn't play very well, to make our kids understand, hey, we are a good team and we can compete with anybody in our league, which is the toughest league in the country.
Next up, the men's teams take the court, and the Lions start hot in this matchup as well. Isaiah Atwater forces the turnover, gets open in the corner, and sinks the triple as MSSU scores the first 5 points of the night. Now Jaden Taylor with the ball. He pulls up from mid-range. He sinks the jumper as well for the Lions. They dominate the start of this one, but they couldn't hold off the Gorillas for long. Mason English finds Connor Rogers in the corner for the wide open three-pointer. It's good. PSU gets on the board. Now the big man, Darryl Washington, working down low, passes out to Mason English, whose tray is nothing but net. And now the Gorillas are hot. Washington down low again. This time he backs down the defender and muscles it in for two. Lions back on the attack. Colin Ruffin with the ball. He finds the soft spot in the defense, puts it in with his left hand. Gorillas looking to respond on offense, but it's Braden Williams with the steal. He takes it all the way down the court. He's got to miss the layup, but Gavin El Camille is right there for the putback. As we go live, though, it's the Gorillas that have the big advantage in the final minutes. They lead the Lions 82-71. Well, it's always exciting when these two teams face off in any sport, but tonight certainly didn't disappoint.
Yeah, it sounded like there were some exciting games, and more that women's game in particular, a real nail-biter, and I guess the men's game technically not yet decided.
Yes, it was an exciting night, and what a win for the Lions tonight, upsetting a nationally ranked team. It probably felt especially good being the Gorillas.
I'm sure it did. Gorillas are disappointed, but they still have a lot of season ahead of them. We'll be right back. While work isn't always fun and games, management experts say a little humor can go a long way in helping to build teamwork and success while on the clock. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten takes a closer look at how to unlock these secrets and promote positivity.
With folks returning to the office after the holiday season, many teams are focusing on getting back into gear and making the new year successful. And according to research from Dr. Sharon Sheridan, assistant professor of management at Clemson University, humor can be a great tool to help boost unity when it's used correctly.
Focus on tone over type or content of the joke. You want to make sure that people perceive your intention for telling the joke in a positive way, to relieve stress, to build connection, to just appear lighthearted.
Besides fostering trust, Dr. Sheridan says leaders can use humor to create a positive workplace culture.
I actually think it's less about trying to adopt humor as a formal practice and more about creating an environment where people feel it's safe to kind of be themselves, be a little lighthearted, maybe joke around a little bit. And I think humor sort of naturally emerges when there's that level of safety and comfort. Get to know your employees, build relationships, and then don't take yourself so seriously. And I think those are the important things to focus on.
But humor can also be very risky.
You know, you may be sort of crossing some boundary, your timing might have been bad, or you hadn't really read the room.
And when the jokes don't land,
it can signal that you not only lack the confidence, but also perhaps the judgment or competence that you need.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
The Carthage Crosslines Ministries is starting the renovations on their new building. They're moving to the old Fastenal building in Carthage. It's located by Race Brothers. Crosslines has served the community for more than 40 years and needs more room to expand its services.
Store will be in the front, and our food pantry services will be in the middle, and our homeless services will be in the back, where everybody has their own independent area. And so I'm super excited about that, where everybody can get the services that they came for in a dignified manner and in their own area, with everybody, kind of on top of each other.
They say this building not only offers more space, but also a better location to better serve the community. They need volunteers to help with those renovations. Up next, Hollywood updates, Kingstown finale, Stranger Things doc, and a new Netflix crime thriller. A final chapter for Jeremy Renner and a behind-the-scenes look at a hit Netflix series. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has all the latest in today's Hollywood Nation.
Hi, I'm the new maid. Beats battles a cult. Stranger Things goes behind the scenes, and Renner prepares for a final bow in the Hollywood Nation.
I need you to listen to me.
Jeremy Renner's time in Kingstown is coming to an end. Paramount Plus renewed its hit crime drama Mayor of Kingstown for a 5th and final season. Renner plays power broker Mike McCluskey navigating the prison system in a fictional Michigan town. Season 4, which wrapped December 28th, introduced Edie Falco as a new prison warden challenging McCluskey's power.
He walks away and closes the basement door.
Netflix is pulling back the curtain on the last chapter of Stranger Things. The streamer released the trailer for the documentary One Last Adventure, The Making of Stranger Things 5, an inside look at the years of work behind the final season of the Duffer Brothers hit series. It premieres January 12th. Speaking of Netflix, the streamer released the official trailer for The Rip, starring Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. The Miami-set crime thriller follows a team of cops whose trust begins to unravel after they discover millions of dollars hidden inside an abandoned stash house. The film starts streaming January 16th.
You are the offering.
Zazie Beetz faces a deadly night in the trailer for They Will Kill You. She leads the horror action film as a woman who takes a housekeeping job in a mysterious New York City high-rise, only to uncover a dangerous secret tied to a demonic cult targeting her as their next victim. She stars alongside Patricia Arquette, Tom Felton, Myha'la, and Heather Graham. The film arrives in theaters March 27th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a black rhinoceros rolling around in mud at the San Francisco Zoo and Gardens. Let's make it a great tomorrow.